I'm Winter. I happen to be a fairly known painter in the art community, and my husband is a big-shot lawyer, so there are ridiculously high chances of me being recognized. To avoid being recognized, I have to use fake names. Sorry about that, but both me and my husband really want to protect our privacy. I hope you guys won't mind. So I am Winter, and my husband is Damien. We met in college and are your typical college sweethearts. We belong to the opposite spectrums because he was studying law while I was into fine arts. We were both very accomplished in our own subjects and managed to make it fairly big in our own way. But Damien was more well known because his profession made much more money and headlines than me. I am a quiet painter and mostly do commission work now. Damien earns a lot more than me since he has a stable job while I work part-time. It's fun being a painter, though, because I don't have to leave home as much and work in an office. This also means that I'm an introvert and tend to keep a low profile. Apparently, that's what set off my mother-in-law, Sabrina, when I first met her. I knew I wouldn't like her. I already knew from Damien that she was a money-minded woman. I also knew how she had stolen all of Damien's inheritance from his dad and spent it on herself to buy a luxurious house. However, Damien had forgiven her for it, but for some reason it bothered me a lot. I couldn't believe that a mother would steal from her own son, so I was always a little skeptical about meeting her. When I finally met her, I found out that she was even more horrible than I thought. When she found out that I'm a painter, she looked at Damien and said, "Why on earth are you with the poor painter? You cannot be with her, Damien. She doesn't match our status." "Mom, don't say that. Winter is actually a very good painter and very accomplished for her age. Plus, I love her," Damien defended. "You can't be serious, Damien. A woman like her cannot be your wife." Sabrina tried hard to tell Damien that he should break up with me. I just sat there looking stunned as hell. I really didn't know what to do or how to react. Sabrina truly was a shallow lady, and that day I saw it with my own eyes. Ever since then, I kept my distance from her. Eventually, Damien and I got married. Sabrina threw a huge tantrum and tried everything to stop the wedding, but no one was on her side. She was exceptionally angry at me because she thought that I was taking her rich son away. These are her own words, guys. She called me a gold digger and said that I was marrying Damien for money. I guess she was scared that Damien would stop sending her money once he got married. Yes, he gave her a monthly allowance after she stopped working. Damien then cut her allowance a little after our marriage because he had just bought a house and he was making the mortgage payments. Sabrina didn't like that one bit. She screamed at me for being behind this and vowed revenge, and she did just that. Ever since Damien had cut off Sabrina's allowance, she did a lot of things to harm my reputation. She actually told all family members that I was a gold digger and was isolating Damien because I wanted all his money for myself. I got a lot of nasty texts from her and some family members as well. Damien shut them down, but refused to go low contact with his mother. This was a problem for me because she regularly showed up at the house to harass me. At that time, I was working on a commission piece and attempting to do a very difficult painting. My client had paid me $500,000, and it took me 3 full years to finish it. It was a highly detailed piece, so I was putting in a lot of effort to make it just like he wanted. Sabrina knew that I was busy and showed up regularly to interrupt me and harass me verbally. My husband told her off but didn't ban her from the house. That's why she had the courage to do what she did. One day when I was back from a shopping trip, I found Sabrina sitting in my living room and enjoying my wine. I ignored her and went to my room because I didn't want to give her any more attention than necessary. I went straight to my painting, which I had completed already. I had left it out to dry and wanted to check on it. When I went into my workroom, I saw that my painting had been hacked. It literally looked like someone had taken a knife and hacked it. Seeing years' worth of work in absolute ruin broke my heart. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I immediately started to cry. I already knew who had done it, but I didn't have the energy to confront her. Instead, I bawled my eyes out as I held my destroyed painting in my hands. Within a few moments, Sabrina entered the room looking super happy. "Well, well, what do we have here?" "Oh, crying over a painting, I see. How sad for you, Winter." "Shut up, Sabrina. I know you did it. You did it, didn't you?" "Why?" "I spent years creating this piece." "Oops, I'm caught. Do you think I care, Winter?" "No, I don't. You deserve this." Sabrina was laughing at me while I cried. She was facing me while I was facing the door, so when Damien arrived at the door behind her, I saw him, but she didn't. I didn't give away the fact that Damien was home and was listening to what she was saying. Instead, I cried and said, "How could you do this, Sabrina? What have I done to deserve this?" "What have you done? Let me tell you what you've done, Winter. You took my son away, and because of you, he cut down on my allowance. Do you think I would forgive you for that? Absolutely not. This is what you deserve for stealing my rich lawyer son from me. You're the most delusional and greedy woman I have ever come across. I didn't take your son from you and make him give you a small allowance. He did it for his own reasons, but you are responsible for destroying my painting. You need to pay me the $500,000 that this painting was worth." Sabrina started to laugh at me and said that there was a fat chance I was getting any money from her. She was still laughing when my husband stepped into the room and asked what was going on. When I told him that Sabrina had destroyed the painting, Sabrina tried to play the victim and said, "Your wife is being mean to me, Damien. I thought it was an abandoned painting, so I just decided to have some fun with it. Now your wife is saying I did it on purpose. Yes, you did it on purpose, and you need to give me the $500,000 that it costs. How dare you try to scam me, Winter? That worthless thing can't cost that much. Besides, it was a mistake and I said sorry." "Damien, look at what your wife is saying. She really expects me to pay her $500,000 for that crap. You don't have to pay her $500,000, Mom. There's no reason to do that anymore." Sabrina looked elated when Damien said this to her. She was jumping with joy because she thought that her son was taking her side. She looked back at me and smirked while I cried my eyes out. I had been working on the painting forever, and Sabrina didn't even need to spend much time destroying it. All she did was hack it with a knife, and that was it. I was broken seeing my precious painting in ruins, but I was more heartbroken by what my husband said. I had expected Damien to take my side in this one instance, but he wasn't even doing that. I had a really hard time believing that my husband would still choose his mother over me now, but I didn't create a scene. I wanted to see what Damien was thinking, but Sabrina was over the moon. "That's my son, God. I was really starting to worry that your wife had turned you into someone else. I knew you would take my side. It was a small mistake, and Winter is throwing a tantrum over nothing. Look at her crying like the world is ending. I wonder why you married her in the first place." "I married her because she is an amazing woman, and I love her more than anyone in this world." "I know you love her, but you surely don't love her more than me, right?" "I did love you a lot, Mom, but I don't think I even have any respect for you anymore. You disgust me now." "What? What are you saying, Damien? You disgust me, Mom." "That's what I'm saying. You think I didn't hear what you told my wife. I know you destroyed her painting on purpose because you think she stole me from you." Sabrina looked shocked when Damien said that. I was also taken aback because I hadn't expected him to do this at all. I knew that my husband wasn't heartless and wouldn't ignore my emotions so easily. He was going to stand up for me once he knew the truth. He had apparently heard me cry and came to check on what was going on. I saw him stand behind the door and didn't say anything because I wanted him to see what his mother was like when he came in and sided with Sabrina. I was heartbroken, but I still held on to some hope. I was right to hope because my husband was doing something about Sabrina. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, was surprised and started to look really nervous. She said, "What? What are you talking about, Damien? I didn't do it on purpose." Do you think lying to your lawyer's son will be a good idea? I don't think so, Mom. I heard you say those words to my wife. You don't have to act all innocent because I know you are not. Okay, fine, Damien. I did it on purpose. I'm jealous of Winter because she has been taking up all your time. I don't like sharing you, Damien. What kind of messed up is that? Mom, you were jealous of my wife and ended up destroying something that she has been working hard on. How can you justify that? Why are you yelling at me, Damien? I'm sorry, okay? I don't even know why you're making such a fuss over a stupid painting. I can buy the same one for $5. You would say that because you're stupid and don't know anything about art. It doesn't matter how much the painting costs. What matters is that you have disrespected my wife and destroyed her handiwork. You have to pay for that. But you just said I don't have to pay for that, Damien. I said that you don't have to pay $500,000. I'm suing you for $1 million instead. The look of shock on Sabrina's face said it all. She hadn't expected Damien to say that. Instead of asking her to pay $500,000, my husband was actually informing her that he was suing her for $1 million. I was happy to see that my husband was finally taking a stand for me. He was going to punish his evil mother for what she did to me and make her pay what I owed. I know why he told Sabrina that he would sue her for $1 million, but I won't tell you guys. You can hear it from him. Sabrina was shaking with fear on hearing about a lawsuit of $1 million and said, "What? You will sue me? That too for $1 million. But why? Have you forgotten how you stole my inheritance from Dad and spent it to buy yourself a big house? I want that money back along with the cost of the artwork that you destroyed." What are you saying, Damien? That was a long time ago. Surely you wouldn't do that to me. You know I needed a house. No, you already had a house and didn't need one. You stole from me because you are nothing but a greedy, shallow woman. I will never forgive you for what you did, Mom. I'm done with you. I'm suing you for that money. No, son, don't do this to me. I made a mistake back then. What's done is done. Let's leave that in the past. I would have left it in the past, but I'm not going to do that. I need that money back now, Mom. If you hadn't messed with my wife because of your own jealousy and greed, I would have forgiven you for your mistake. But now that is not happening. Sabrina could see how angry Damien was. I had actually never seen Damien that angry, to be honest. He was like a raging volcano because of his mother. His past hurt and feelings of betrayal had come back in my mind. He wasn't going to let things go this time. He was finally doing something for me and himself. Sabrina knew that Damien was serious and she had messed up. She started to cry like a child while my tears were gone. I was smiling because I was proud of my husband. Sabrina cried and said, "Your mother made a mistake. Please, dear, forgive her. I really did something stupid. I deserve your anger, Damien. I accept that wholeheartedly. Please forgive me this time." I already told you, Mom, I won't be forgiving you anymore. I've had enough of your nonsense. I draw the line when you tried to hurt my wife, Damien replied firmly. I know I messed up, Damien. I'm really sorry. I swear this won't happen again. Look, I'll even apologize to your wife, Winter. Please forgive me. I made a mistake and I am sorry, Sabrina tried to say, hoping that Damien would calm down and make this go away. She was scared and wanted to calm down her son and de-escalate the situation. But for that, she needed my forgiveness. She had no one in her corner and turned to me for help. I don't know why she thought I would help her out. It was hilarious because she still expected me to forgive her and maybe help her get out of this mess. Well, I wasn't doing anything like that, I thought, instead looked surprised and angry and said, "There is no use trying to say sorry now, Sabrina. I will never forgive you. I tried my best to have a good relationship with you, but you intentionally hurt me because you were mad Damien had stopped spending so much money on you," I added. "I have realized my mistake, Winter. I swear I'm really sorry for what I've done. It was completely wrong, and I take accountability for that," Sabrina pleaded. "I know you're not truly sorry. The real reason you're begging for forgiveness is that you want to avoid the lawsuit. You don't want to pay up and lose your lifestyle. You deserve whatever is happening to you," I retorted. "Why are you being so cruel, Winter? I already said sorry. Maybe you are the greedy one since you're trying to scam me out of $500,000, Sabrina accused. "There is no way your painting is worth that much. In that case, why don't you let Damien sue you? That way you will find out exactly how much my painting costs once the courts evaluate it. I will support Damien in suing you anyway, Sabrina," I said firmly. At that point, Sabrina knew that no one was on her side. Now she was desperate for forgiveness and started to beg us both. Gone was her high-class attitude that she loved to throw in my face. Now she was groveling and trying to ask for forgiveness. She was willing to do anything to avoid paying money through the lawsuit, but the lawsuit wasn't her only problem now. What my husband said next absolutely blew her away. He said, "There is no use begging for mercy now, Mom. You made your bed and now you will have to lie in it. I'm done with you." "How can you do this, Damien? How can you threaten to sue your own mother?" Sabrina exclaimed. "I'm not threatening you, Mom. I'm telling you exactly what I will do. You are not a child that I need to threaten. If you do this, you'll lose me, Damien. We won't have a relationship anymore and I'll never forgive you," Sabrina pleaded. "Is that supposed to scare me, Mom? Because then you have clearly underestimated how angry I am. I'm sick of your behavior, Mom. For years you took advantage of me, and now you're bullying my wife. I will never forgive you for this, and I don't want a relationship with you anyway," Damien responded firmly. "What? You don't want me in your life?" Sabrina was shocked. "That's right, Mom. I don't want you in my life anymore. I know you only love me so much because of my money. Well, guess what, Mom? I won't be helping you out financially anymore. I'm cutting you off in all ways possible," Damien declared. Hearing this, Sabrina broke down in tears and started to cry hysterically. She said a lot of things through her tears. She told us how he was being unfair to her. She also told Damien that he was making a mistake by taking my side and abandoning her over a simple mistake. She even blamed me and said that I had poisoned my husband against her and that I was a gold digger who wanted to keep Damien away from his mother. It was hilarious watching Sabrina have a breakdown and throw a major tantrum. She cried and cried, but no one was listening to her. Damien was as stoic as I was. Instead of supporting his mother or comforting her as she cried, he came to me and wiped my tears with his handkerchief. I was really moved by this gesture and hugged him for taking my side. Sabrina, however, flew into a rage and tried to attack me. That's when Damien got between us and held her back. He was even more pissed now and threatened to call the cops on Sabrina if she didn't leave. He also told her never to show her face in our house again. Sabrina got scared after seeing Damien's anger and left as soon as she could. After Sabrina was gone, Damien sat me down and actually apologized for not standing up for me sooner. "I'm sorry, Winter. I have to take responsibility for what happened today. I've been a bad husband and didn't take your concerns seriously," he admitted. "It's okay, Damien. I can understand why you didn't want to lose your mother. I'm glad you stood up for me today. I can't believe my mom destroyed your painting, Winter. I'm so sorry for this. I know how much effort you gave to this piece. I feel awful. Don't worry, though. I will make Mom pay," Damien assured me. "Are you really sure about the lawsuit, Damien? Will you really go ahead with it?" I asked cautiously. "I meant every word I said, Winter. I will sue my mom, and I will cut her off in every way possible. I let her disrespect you for a long time, but now she has to pay for what she's done. I will protect you and cut her off because she doesn't deserve to be in our lives and take advantage of us anymore," Damien affirmed. I wasn't angry at my husband anymore. He came through for me and defended me against his evil mother. He was truly my hero now. I wasn't going to push him to actually go forward with the lawsuit because I knew it was hard to take your own mother to court. So I let my husband decide if he wanted to go through with it. To my surprise, he said that he would be suing Sabrina and cutting her off like he had said. I will be honest here, but that made me really happy. I was finally seeing some hope in getting rid of my evil mother-in-law, and thank God for helping me out. Damien and I talked about a lot of things in our marriage, and he apologized for not standing up for me sooner. Days passed, and Sabrina continued to contact us. She was too scared to show up at our house because Damien had threatened to call the cops on her, but that didn't stop her from harassing us over the phone. She called, texted, and even left voicemails. Sabrina also tried to get family members involved, but no one dared to go against Damien. Some of the elders were pretty mad at her for being so nasty to me and told her off for being such a horrible woman. I was enjoying hearing about these things from a cousin who was always on my side. Sabrina was trying hard to get our forgiveness and even asked me for mercy. She became truly unhinged when she was sent the court papers for the case. She amped up contact and finally showed up at our house, after which the cops came and removed her from our property. Sabrina did a lot of things, but I can't go into details about it. I'm pretty sure I could write a book on how hard she tried to make the lawsuit go away, but nothing worked because my husband was adamant about making her pay. The case went to court and the settlement was made. The final amount that Sabrina had to pay was well over $1 million. Anyway, Sabrina cried in court when the judge made his decision public. She knew that she would have to sell everything she owned just to pay the money from the lawsuit. Now that Damien was not giving her any money, she was back at work and didn't even manage to find a decent one. She doesn't earn much and works as a receptionist somewhere. The house she was so proud of had to be sold to make the debt payments. Damien and I profited a lot from the lawsuit in general. With that money, I tried to pay back my patron because I couldn't deliver the artwork as I had promised. To my great delight, he actually told me to keep the money and work on a separate piece. His wife loved my painting, so he gave me leeway because he really wanted to give her a custom painting from me. That really brought tears to my eyes because I had never thought that anyone would appreciate my art skills so much. I told Damien what happened, and even he said that he was super proud of me. So Sabrina was wrong in thinking that I would never match up to her level. Well, I showed her how much I was worth, and she finally got to pay for her bad actions. I'm happy to inform you guys that I am now living a Sabrina-free life, and I am much happier than before. Damien and I are also expecting our first child, so pray for us. Thanks for listening to my story, and I hope you all have a good life.